Trubisky looks like a lost player out there. He looks like he's lost his confidence. Last year, number 3 total QBR. Yeah. This year, a completely different animal. Looks scared. Looks like he's seeing ghosts every single play. How do you fix Trubisky? What has been the problem?
So I said this last week on our show. The way you fix it is a disciplined eye progression. He doesn't have a discipline.
The hell does that mean?
Well, I don't care what position you're playing, but if you're playing quarterback especially, you need a disciplined eye progression on every play. Your eyes have to be in the right spot. His eyes are not in the right spot. So there's something to the X's and O's that I know that I could help get fixed for him. I know that I could, but there's something bigger than that, and I think that's what Matt Nagy and company are trying to figure out. Is his confidence is shook. And here's the thing about Trubisky. Him coming out, it was a surprise that he was the second pick overall, but he was probably the most ready guy based on the system that he came from at North Carolina to go start for the Bears quickly. Even though the plan was for him to sit on the bench and have Mike Glennon be the starter year one, that plan got screwed up because Mike Glennon didn't start out so hot. So they threw Trubisky in there too early. But Mitchell Trubisky had us about 500 pass attempts in his college career. Didn't play a lot of, I think I'm right on that, Joey, right? About 500? Yeah. He kind of like
the amazing end.
Kind of like a Mark Sanchez or a Brock Osweiler, guys that didn't put Cardell Jones and Dwayne Haskins. They don't have a big resume of snaps. Trevor Lawrence will someday go to the NFL, and he'll have been the starter for 4 years in high school, basically, for 4 years in college. It's like a lot of snaps. That's not the case with Mitchell Trubisky. Came out early, 1 year starter, does not have a wealth of, like a reservoir of experiences to draw back on. And so his confidence is shook right now.
Now, isn't confidence, for me, I learned that my confidence came from my practice reps.
Yes.
Right? So the harder I practice, the better I practice, the more confidence I went into the game. Like, I had to get those reps in. Isn't that something that you can build? And how do you lose that after having an incredible year?
Listen, there's some crazy stuff in sports. People talk about Chuck Knobloch, the second baseman, couldn't throw to first base. What was that? That was something hard to explain.
Got it.
To me, as a quarterback, and you just said it, the way to pull yourself out of a slump like that is with your technique and your fundamentals and the discipline of that. To me, when I studied Mitchell Trubisky last week going into this, like, what is wrong with him? He was so good last year. Why is he shook right now? There's a lot of things, okay? But the first thing that I would point to is that his eyes are all over the place. He needs a disciplined eye progression on every play. There are some base plays that they run all the time, basically plays that high schools are running. 3 guys running curl routes and 2 guys running to the flats. You start inside when the guy that's running the curl in the middle, and you basically just go 1 there, and then whichever way the defense squeezes from, we're going 2 or 3 to the left or 2 or 3 to the right. He's all over the place. He's like looking at everything.
So is that film study? Not enough film study? Not enough practice?
My guess is this, okay? He had a successful year last year. Matt Nagy's very creative, very creative. Prides himself on being creative. You can put too much on a young player's plate, and it's too much for them to handle. And then all of a sudden, it's paralysis by analysis, and they play slow instead of playing fast.
Do you think Trubisky can get out of this and play good football again?
I don't know if he can do it this year.
Well, of course it's not happening this year. I mean, everybody who has a brain knows it's not happening this year.
Do you put much into I think when he said that he wanted the TVs in the building to be turned off, I think that was kind of tongue-in-cheek, but this reminds me a lot of Robert Griffin on his way out of Washington, like going to Shanahan and saying, like, no, I don't want this play on the film that we're watching, all that kind of stuff. Do you take much stock in that, or is that kind of just whatever?
What he like, they have mismanaged the public side of this in every which way. And Matt Nagy, like, I like watching his offense, but he has mismanaged the kicking situation.
Bad. They have 8 guys kicking from one spot.
You don't understand the kicker. It's out of sight, out of mind. You're making this like a public spectacle. Yeah. You brought this drama on yourself. Every now at Soldier Field, if like you make an extra point, there's like you created this drama. Yeah. This is like Bears on Bears crime. You did this to yourself.
Got it.
And in the same way, talking about Mitchell Trubisky at the press conference, talking about like, yeah, Coach Nagy asked me to watch my body language on the TV copy. It's like a therapy session in front of the local media. Like, what are you doing? You don't see the best teams doing that. You don't see the Patriots doing that. You don't see, like, they have mismanaged that side of this. But if it was me and I was coaching him, to get him out of the funk, I would simplify the playbook. Realize that this is still a very young player that hasn't played a lot, especially in college, and just like stick to the X's and O's of where your eyes are every play.
Okay.